conference, I will ask that we pray in our own ways. Hence, there is no wisdom here.
Who is this? Maybe it's him. Trade. Yes. Sorry.
Okay, Amin. So before we actually start the press conference, I will ask that we introduce ourselves and which institution and press media houses that we are representing. Can we start with the first one down there? Yes. Who are you and where are you from and which media agency you are representing?
Yes, my name is Kaita Disney and I'm representing
Tranga FM, yes.
Good morning, I am Khadija Tujuara, DRPS.
Yes, okay.
I am Nimaba from the Standard Newspaper.
Good morning, I am Muhammad from FNB Radio Station.
Bukan, okay.
Aramatin, Point Newspaper.
Good morning, I am Outbreak from
You are?
Outbreak.
From?
Outbreak.
Okay.
I am Abdullah Kamara, Principal Public Health Business Surveillance Officer, Minister of Health.
I am Maurice Mandeng. I'm a Senior Economist at the Ministry of Trade.
I am Sanada Hava, I'm the Executive Director, National Disaster Management Agency under the Office of the Vice President.
I am Abdou Sise, Director General, Department of Livestock Services.
I'm Mr. Karamba Keta, Deputy Permanent Secretary, Technical Minister of Health.
I am Dr. Usman Sise, Deputy Director General, Department of Livestock Services.
I am Amadou Demba. I'm the President of Poultry Farmers Cooperative.
I am Basiru Diaga, Animal Production Officer, Department of Livestock Services.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Abu Sambo, Wildlife Conservation Officer from the Department of Parks and Wildlife.
I am Dr. Esa Jalal, Head of the Disease Control and Prevention Unit at the Department of Livestock Services.
I am Maria Pujabi from West Coast Radio.
I'm also from Partner.
And I am Anjibin Pujami from QC.
From Fast Network, from ODC.
I am Lamin Kote, Paradise TV.
I am Sirabali from KK.
This is from JRS.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you everyone. I want to take this opportunity on behalf of the National Disaster Management Agency to welcome you all. As we all know, there's a discovery of this is H5N1 bird flu in Senegal. So as a responsible government, I think it's our responsibility to activate our emergency preparedness and response plan, because this is a public health challenge, and it's a public health. It can be a public health emergency if it is not put under control. It is within that context that we call the press so that we brief them about the situation of this bird flu. Hence, if you look at the location of the Gambia, we are almost encompassed into Senegal. So what affects Senegal geographically will eventually affect the Gambia in the long run if certain control measures are not in place. This is why we invited the press today, so that we share whatever information the technicians have with the public, so that we are all vigilant and aware of the current situation. So on that note, I think I will pass the baton to Dr. Sise to give us the trajectory of this disease and how prepared are we in terms of our response mechanism. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Executive Director.
Yeah.
I say good morning once again, good afternoon once again to everybody, and welcome you all to this important national AI press conference, avian influenza press conference. As the Executive Director, NDMA said, we are in an emergency as far as a livestock disease affecting poultry is concerned in the Gambia. Last week, to be exact, on Friday, we got report through the official notification website of the World Animal Health Organization, known as OIE in short, that the Senegalese authorities have reported an outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza, otherwise known as bird flu of the type H5N1 outbreak in Senegal, our neighbors. This official information was taken to be an official notification to a country like the Gambia as a member of the World Organization for Animal Health, which has a membership of 182 countries. When such a thing happens, especially with this type of disease, highly pathogenic avian influenza, which is known as bird flu, normally countries that are notified are expected to take immediate measures to ensure that their countries are protected against the entry of this disease in their territories. Going back a little about this outbreak in Senegal, the complete report that we received through this notification indicated that the outbreak was spotted in a poultry farm, a layer farm, that is egg-producing chicken farm, with a size of 100,000 chickens. And the disease affected or infected or 58,000 of these chickens got sick from this disease, and they all died. As a control measure, which is applicable in these types of situations, the remaining 42,000 were culled or removed or destroyed or killed, so that, the disease wouldn't spread to other farms and further. So according to the same report, the outbreak was resolved. That means at that point, the outbreak was contained. But then again, in that same report, it was indicated that the source of the infection or the source of the outbreak in that layer farm is not known by the Senegalese authorities. And investigations were continuing. And they would be providing, through that same notification means, weekly reports as to the development of events. Now, we, being the Gambia, this disease has never been this close to us. Giving you a little history about this highly pathogenic avian influenza, the disease was known, some years ago in Italy. That was where it was first, seen to be an important disease affecting birds in general, and it started getting prominence in the 1990s, and then eventually for Africa, it started becoming very important in the early 2000s. And then, eventually it came to our doorsteps in the sub-region of West Africa. And then, as I said, this time around, it became very close. So all these years, countries like the Gambia have been preparing themselves to be in a better position to fight the disease in case it gets very close to them or in case it is found within the territory. That gave rise to the development of what we call a national integrated emergency preparedness and response plan that stipulates the various actions or activities that the country should take up to fight this disease. In it, it was indicated what we should be doing in case the disease is, very close, like found in Senegal. So basically, all the steps that are stipulated in that plan are the things that are being revisited at the moment since the receiving the report of the outbreak in Senegal. And one of the things that we should be doing is to call internal emergency meetings, which we have been doing since Monday at the level of the Department of Livestock Services. A series of meetings have started. At the level of the bigger group, which comprises of very key stakeholders when it comes to highly pathogenic avian influenza situations, were also engaged, and a meeting was held at that level. And again, it is necessary, as per this plan, to engage the media and in the form of a press conference, so that a lot of clarifications can be made. As the executive director said, basically this is the reason why this press conference is being organized. Already we have started getting information from different sources about this disease in Senegal, or about this outbreak report in Senegal, and then a lot of misinformations are perceived to be coming out, and there is need to bring clarity or clarifications regarding any of these things. The media being a fair representation of the population, in terms of information diffusion, we believe it is important that they come and we face them, and they would kind of bring out some of the issues that the general public would want to know about this situation. So basically that is the reason why we are here. So we have already issued a press release notifying the general populace about the situation in Senegal and what basically we are trying to do. And then another press release would follow suit, which is relating to one of the activities that has been stipulated in the emergency preparedness plan regarding the prevention of the disease through entry of poultry and poultry products. That would eventually be issued out, hopefully today. So basically, I think I would want to stop here for the time being, just for the sake of introduction and giving way for the opening of the press conference. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for that overview of the bad influenza. I think now I want to pass the baton to another Dr. Cisse, Usman Cisse, to add up to what the director has just given us with regard to the background of this H5N1 bad flu that's almost threatening the sub-region. So, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Executive Director. We are very glad to have you all here today. This is a very important national endeavor. We have known that there is actually an outbreak of highly pathogenic avian influenza virus, the type H5N1 in Senegal, which actually, as a Department of Livestock Services, with its very important partners in this, they are even not called stakeholders. That is the National Disaster Management Agency, the Ministry of Health, and through the EDC, Epidemic and Disease Control, and then the Department of Parks and Wildlife Management, commonly known as wildlife in this country, have to follow a plan that was established back in 2015 for a situation like this. It has never been disclosed. In 2015, 2016, we have it up to Mali. But then now is 2021, we have it in Senegal. And whenever it is present in Senegal, the Gambia have the plan to implement with some response actions that would make sure that the virus doesn't get to us here. And then we are all safe. And then this is the activity that we are conducting here with all of you here today. It is very important to note that it is a very important zoonotic disease. It can be transmitted to human. We know up to now that one also from human to human transmission is not very efficient, or is practically, we can say, nil just now. So we know also that it destroys poultry industry. Whenever it gets into this country, the poultry industry will be severely affected, because it will kill a lot of birds, and then the rest we have to kill them ourselves to make sure that it doesn't spread and go any further to anywhere. So these are the most important things. There is an economic aspect, there is a public health aspect, and then the people need to understand both. And then when they do, by cooperating and understanding all the circumstances that around this disease, through some of the things that we are doing with you, through the media, as well as some other activities that we need to conduct both at central and regional level in the country. And then to make sure that everybody is prepared. It's about preparedness, and then control avian influenza at the point where it is, and we secure the absence of the disease in this country. That's the general idea that we are here for, and then this is the purpose, and then now I will give the baton back to Edie.
Okay, Doctor, from the information that we are getting from the expert, that it threatens our food security, it threatens our life and livelihood, and it also affects seriously our economic activity, because poultry production in this country is one of the biggest economic activity. So if that's been threatened, I think there is a need for the general public to know that this thing can cause serious public health problem as well as economic problem. So now just want to pass the baton to the press, so that if they have any question with regard to this zoonotic disease, the experts are here to respond to their concerns. They are here to respond to all the issues that are associated with this H5N1 bird flu. Thank you. The press.
Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
In an economical perspective, I would like to know, in case if this virus goes to the Gambia, how much, do we expect to be affected economically?
What's the economic implication for this H5N1 bird flu if it enters into the country? And that's what you want to know.
Yes. Number two.
Respond as they ask.
Yeah. Talking about measures, what measures are really put in place to give assurance to bring down people's anxiety, and also measures to put in place to, especially around the borders, on importation of foods, especially chickens in the Gambia. What measures are put in place to address this situation?
Doctor, what measures are you putting in place? I think one of the measures is to call the press conference, so that the general public is aware of what's happening. Another measure is to activate the emergency preparedness and response plan. Yes. I think that's very, very important. That's the starting point for any threat of such nature.
How will it be? If it should be put into reality, how will it be? Because we have porous borders, and we know, and seen from the field, especially during the coronavirus pandemic, we have porous borders. They were vigilant, but they were not vigilant enough if we are talking about security. So this case, is it going to be put into reality or not, to give assurance to Gambians?
Doctor, I think you can just respond to that first, then you. Okay.
Okay, thank you for those very important questions from QTV, I guess. Yes, as the deputy said, highly pathogenic avian influenza or bird flu is very important economically. I indicated that the outbreak in Senegal affected a layer farm of 100,000 chickens. It is known that this disease, when it gets to a chicken farm, it has the potential of affecting up to 90% of the chicken in that farm. That means all of them can get sick, and there is a potential of killing, that disease killing up to 90% or 95%, it can vary from 60 to 95% of the sick birds of the flock can be affected of the disease and can die. And because of the fact that it is mandatory, especially for countries where the disease is appearing for the first time, to depopulate that farm. That means even whereby you have the disease killing 90% or 50%, let's say, of the flock, the remaining have to be eliminated. So that means it's a total loss to that farm. So if the disease happens to get into the country, it has the potential of impacting a lot in our poultry industry. All the chicken farms that are here, especially the commercial ones, have the potential of being affected. And once it gets to any commercial poultry farm here, there is the potential of, of that poultry farm being extinct, being no more. So that means, economically speaking, it has the potential of affecting our economy a lot. It is true that the poultry sector in this country is just starting to go up. But then if you were to have the disease in the country and that disease eliminates that beginning, then obviously I think we would want to say that it is going to impact very seriously and negatively on the economy of this country, as we know that the poultry sector has, also a significant contribution. If you look at the livestock contribution, the livestock's contribution to the GDP of the country. So in short, it would have a very serious economic impact for the country if the disease is allowed to enter this country and spread. So the other question is, what measures are in place for the prevention of the entry of this disease? In fact, I said that the National Integrated Preparedness and the Response Plan for Avian and Human Influenza, stressing human influenza, as he said, it is a zoonotic disease. That means humans can also suffer from the disease. This plan is basically designed to ensure that in case the disease is present in a country like Senegal, we would take measures that would prevent it from entering the country. So that is why, from the time we got the report that the disease is in Senegal, we invoked this National Integrated Emergency Preparedness and Response Plan. And some of the things that we need to do are, for example, calling up emergency meetings, as the ED said, revitalizing the National Avian Influenza Task Force, so that, all the activities that are stipulated in this plan are potentially implemented. That is what we have started doing already. We have released a press release to inform the general populace so that people know about the disease presence in Senegal, at least being reported. Again, we have, as one of the activities in the plan, is to implement a ban on the importation of poultry products and poultry live birds, that is chicken of all ages, from Senegal, and not only from Senegal, but also from other countries where the disease is currently occurring. So these are some of the things. But then again, we have started, providing refresher trainings for our field staff on this particular disease, so that they can also better sensitize our farmers, who are rearing, poultry, who might be, going into places where poultry can be, a source of infection of the disease, like lumos. And also the other thing that we are doing is to ensure that our people, the Department of Livestock Services, Veterinary Service of the Gambia, their staff are placed in both official border posts and non-official border posts. As you rightly said, this country, we are surrounded by a borderline which is very porous as far as our in and outs between Gambia and Senegal are concerned. So we know that we have that challenge of ensuring that at least the porous borders are taken, the porous points of the border are taken into consideration. So right now, as we speak, all the staff of the Department of Livestock Services are aware of this disease. They are well sensitized. They are well equipped in terms of knowledge on avian influenza, and they are into the surveillance, that is looking out, searching out for the potential presence of the disease. And then the general populace is being informed of what to do in case they have any suspicion of the disease anywhere in the taking, and these are practical measures.